welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk, Money and Insurance. And as you can see today, I am not alone. So in this video, we're going to have a very interesting conversation about credit scores. And I will just allow my guest to introduce himself and also just tell us a bit about where he grew up, what he's all about. So tell us, who are you and why are you here?
Thanks. Hi, Fulu. My name is Asane Legavenga. I am the CEO and co-founder of Fleeker Finance, which is a company that helps students build a credit history while university.
Okay.
I'm sure your viewers have watched your previous video where you spoke about the importance of credit scores.
Yeah.
And we, as Fleeker Finance, of course, it's important to actually help students build it while they're studying.
Yeah.
Instead of having them to graduate and they have to start from scratch.
No.
So yeah, I grew up in Cape Town, Khayelitsha. I went to my primary school in Khayelitsha, high school in Khayelitsha, then I went to UCT.
UCT.
Yeah.
Alright. So fellow UCT.
Fellow UCT.
Alright, okay. So as you can hear, guys, it's about credit scores, and I can also attest to the story to say when you are working, right, getting access to credit in South Africa is a lot, especially when you don't have a credit history at all. So maybe you can tell us, how can students contact you guys and actually find out, about your services? How can they actually know more about what you guys do?
It's very simple. You just search Fleeker Finance on Google. It's going to take you to the site, or you can just go type fleeker.co.za.
Okay.
It's going to redirect you to Fleeker Finance. And also have an Instagram and LinkedIn account. You can just follow us on LinkedIn or Instagram at Fleeker Finance.
Okay. And I also dropped the link in the description box. So if you guys want to check it out, you can always go to the description box, click on the link, and actually find out, how you can build your own credit score in varsity.
Yeah.
So in terms of the how part of it, I don't know if it's like private information that you can't reveal to the public. Okay. In that case, as a student, I'm in university, maybe doing my second year, and I'm interested in actually building my credit score through you guys. So how do you guys go about the whole process? Maybe give us a brief, detailed on, this is step one, you get this, you do that. Yeah.
So thank you so much for the question. So it's very important to answer the how question, because there's only one way to build a credit history. It's actually accessing credit and using it and paying it back, right?
Yeah.
You can't build a credit history by actually reading a book. You actually have to you have to engage. So what we've done at Fleeker Finance is that we've given students access to small value credit, which is 100 rands, 150, that they have to pay back within a space of a month. And the reason we chose those small amounts is that some students figured out that they could build a credit history, but the ways they're doing it was actually backfiring. So for example, if I want to build a credit history before Fleeker Finance, I'll go open a clothing account. Yeah. I'm gonna pay it once, pay it 3 times, without skipping any payments. You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna give me access to credit facility of 4,000 rand, and I'm a student, right? Yeah. And we've seen students actually going out and taking up that amount and struggling to pay it back. And what does it do? It messes up their credit score. Yeah, it's
counterproductive actually.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why we've made the amounts really small. It costs you a pizza. You can literally pay it back at any time. If you don't have it, you can ask a friend to help you to pay back. Building a credit history, so that's why we made it the credit very small. So how to access is very simple. You go to Fleeker Finance, you sign up if you have not signed up, then it's gonna redirect you to your applications and get started. Then you'll be approved within a space of 8 hours.
8 hours?
Yes.
Okay, that's efficient.
Yeah.
So do I need to pay? Because there are services that you pay for. Do I need to pay? Isn't there a subscription fee or something?
Okay, so we have a service fee of 10 rand. Okay. Yeah. And also the nice thing, if you give you 150, you can split it into installments. Okay. Do you have a friend who's gonna give you access to 150 and pay it into installments? Nah. I doubt there is. Another thing is that in our ecosystem, we have companies that are starting to like what you do, and they actually offer discounts to our students, and that thing is going to continue growing. So that 10 rand service fee and that small 2%, 2 rands, if you borrow $100, so it becomes nothing. For example, we start to deal with the driving school. So their lesson is 190. We ask them to make it 150.
Okay.
Right? So that's like 40 rands off.
Yeah.
Way more than what you actually pay.
True. And also as a student, 40 rands is actually like a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, it is.
Student budget doesn't really allow you to, unless you rich and stuff. But
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No, that's
not all
interesting.
students are rich, by the way.
I feel like we can all attest to the thing that we're not all rich.
Exactly.
And also, what other interesting partnerships do you guys have? Do you work with? I saw you telling us about something that happened in the past few weeks. You bagged a partnership with something. So
yeah, but people who go to our social media will see that you had a partnership with a company called Didi. So what Didi does, it helps. Like it's a e-hailing ride app. Like it's like Uber, Bolt, And for some interesting fact, if you didn't know, Didi is like you can go search on the internet. It's one of the largest e-hailing apps across the world.
Wow.
They originate from China, so they started coming to South Africa. So we struck a deal with them. They give us students discounts. So with a campaign with them. Obviously, those terms and conditions will change over time. Introduce different. It's not going to be what we currently have. It's going to change in time. So we currently having that partnership. Students who go to UCT will know about Masinde Driving School. So it's the most famous driving school on campus. You should check it out. Masinde Driving School. It's the most famous.
Shout out to them.
They have the best services on campus. They make students feel like when you're going for a driving lesson and you're not like being driven, being taught by an old man. It's like guys at your age and stuff, and they're studying as well at UCT.
Okay, that's pretty
and
cool.
They actually understand what you're going through. It's actually fun. So that's another partnership that we had, and we're working on many other partnerships, even with bursaries and stuff. But obviously we can't mention other ones because they're not approved.
Okay. No, that is really, really interesting. And I feel like I love the work that you guys are doing, especially for the next generation, our generation as well. I think that's really, really amazing, and you guys are changing lives. So one bonus final question from my end would just be, why credit scores though? You guys could have ventured into, I guess, a lot of other areas. You could have just said, we want to create apps, we want to create websites, but why specifically credit scores? And why do you think it's important that every single person who's actually watching this video takes, some sort of action to build their credit score?
That's a very interesting question. So we chose this because, we feel like the financial services industry as a whole, especially credit specifically, can be improved. For example, Tsapang, my co-founder, when he graduated, wanted to buy a car, and like first 2 months of working, he couldn't get credit. Because he didn't have a credit history. But I know Tsapang is a very responsible guy. He's gonna pay back on time. So he got rejected. Where he got accepted, they charged him a high interest rate. So he's getting punished, right? And I understand why they do that, because they don't have data, so they can't just look at you and say, oh, he looks like a responsible person. So most young graduates or young professionals in South Africa, they get punished just because they don't have that data accessible. So what you're saying is that we can help you build the data. And the reason for that is that we want young people in South Africa to also learn and understand and change their mentality when it comes to viewing credit, because some people actually think it's their money, right? You get a credit card, they give you a facility of 100,000, you go blow, right? So with Fleeker Finance, we're also pushing financial education, specifically focusing on credit, so that our young people in South Africa can make like good decisions when it comes to credit. And at the same time, if you build a credit history from first year, by the time you graduate, you're going to pay a lower interest rate. Also to help them save from credit, while viewing credit as more of leverage as opposed to seeing it as their own money. So that is the reason. It is to actually also make the whole financial services to be inclusive to younger people. Because it's very hostile to young people. You don't get the best deals just because there's no data. So that's why we're like, okay, we would like to actually cause change in the financial services. But if you think about it, if each and every year, like we have, let's say 100,000 students who use Fleeker Finance and build their credit history. Like, imagine when they graduate, how many people are actually saving money from high interest rates, and how many people are actually getting access to credit like quicker. Because there are jobs that will not give you a job, like some people will not hire you because they don't have a car, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
if you can be able to access credit and buy a car while you're starting, so it's gonna open up more opportunities for young graduates in South Africa. So that's the reason we chose this specific industry, because we think that it's gonna open up more opportunities.
More opportunities. Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. And it's a challenge that I feel, in as much as you might ignore the fact that you need to build your credit score now, whenever, if you're still in university or whatnot, at some point you'll have to. And sometimes it's just a bit too late, because now you're just like, I need to have that good credit score right now to actually do it.
That thing that you usually say, when someone is doing first year, like, it's too early for me to build a credit. You always say like 4 years is not far.
It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years is not far. Like, trust me, you'll be first year now, like
Next
by
thing
the
you
time you
fourth
wake
year.
up, exactly, you're
Yeah.
already a graduate. So it's a future financial investment, basically. You're
It
investing
is.
in yourself, yeah.
No,
And no one else can do that investment on your behalf, unfortunately.
Yeah, they can't. You have to grab it with both hands, work on it, and build your own credit score. So thank you so much for actually blessing us on the channel. You're doing amazing things. I think you're one of the few people that are around where you're just like, some people are doing stuff. They're changing the world, and I hope you continue to impact lives. And I hope Fleeker Finance also continues to grow and change the financial landscape of our country, especially for young people. So any last words, for people who have been following your journey, people who will join after this video, what do you have to say to them? And also just like grads in university who, they just didn't know about Fleeker Finance until this point. What can you say to them?
All I can say is that it's not too early or too late to build a credit history. Like, if you're in your final year, you still have a chance to build a credit history. If you're in first year, it's even better for you to start building it as soon as possible. So yeah, that's all I can say. Like, don't wait for tomorrow. You can literally go to flickr.co.za today, sign up, and even apply. Even though it's vague, like students can apply. We've been giving them a repayment holiday till 31st of March, because I understand that some students are not getting allowances throughout this period because they're student first parent. So yeah, it's not too late. That's all I can say.
All right. No, thank you so much for coming. And yeah, it was nice having you. It was really nice having you. And we hope to have you back again,
Awesome.
I don't know, sometime.
Of course, I always like to come back, and I want to thank you so much for having us. Yeah, when I say us, I'm representing Fleeker
Finance. Yes, you've been hosted. You're welcome in the channel.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for actually coming and pulling through and sharing with us all the nuggets of wisdom today. So everybody, there you have it. We've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in the next video. Oh, bye.